Australian crocodile hunter Steve Irwin has died during a diving expedition near Port Douglas in Australia.
Crikey! Today we're diving deep into the extraordinary life of the one and only Steve Irwin, the crocodile hunter who captured hearts around the globe with his boundless energy and love for wildlife. So grab your khakis and let's embark on this wild adventure together. Now, before Steve was wrestling crocs and charming snakes, he was just a little bloke growing up in a family that made wildlife enthusiast sound like an understatement. Born to Lynn and Bob Irwin, who founded the Queensland Reptile and Fauna Park, Steve didn't just learn to walk, he learned to wrangle. By the tender age of 9, he was handling crocodiles under his dad's watchful eye. Talk about a childhood petting zoo. Fast forward a few years and Steve meets Terry Raines, a naturalist from Oregon, who probably thought she'd seen it all, until she met Steve, that is. Sparks flew faster than a kangaroo on a trampoline. They tied the knot in 1992, and together they became the dynamic duo of wildlife conservation. Speaking of dynamic duos, they had 2 kids, Bindi Sue, born in 1998, and Robert Clarence, arriving in 2003. It's safe to say the Irwin household was more like a wildlife sanctuary, with slightly more homework. Now you might be wondering how Steve went from wrangling crocs to wrangling TV audiences worldwide. Well, it all started when director John Stainton thought, hey, this guy wrestling crocodiles could make for some decent TV. And boy, was that the understatement of the century. In 1996, The Crocodile Hunter premiered on Discovery Channel, and suddenly, Steve's enthusiastic crikey became a household catchphrase. The show ran for 11 years, longer than most crocodiles live. Okay, maybe not, but you get the idea. But Steve wasn't one to rest on his laurels or his khakis. He expanded his television empire with shows like Croc Files and The Crocodile Hunter Diaries, giving fans a behind-the-scenes look at life in the Irwin household. Spoiler alert, it involved a lot of skills and tales. Through these programs, Steve didn't just entertain. He educated millions about the importance of wildlife conservation. He made learning about dangerous animals feel like story time, minus the risk of getting eaten. Now, every great adventure has its challenges, and Steve faced them head-on, sometimes literally. On September 4, 2006, while taking a break from filming Ocean's Deadliest, because who doesn't need a breather from deadly creatures, Steve decided to film some extra footage for his daughter Bindi's upcoming show, Bindi the Jungle Girl. Armed with his trusty cameraman Justin Lyons, Steve set out to find something spectacular. And if you know Steve, that could mean anything from cuddling a koala to high-fiving a great white shark. As fate would have it, they spotted a massive short-tailed stingray, wingspan of about 2 meters. That's like 2 basketball players lying end to end. Steve, being Steve, thought it would be perfect to film the stingray swimming away from him. A beautiful, serene shot to wrap up the day. Now, stingrays are usually the ocean's chill dudes, relaxed and non-aggressive. But this one mistook Steve's shadow for a tiger shark, its natural predator. Talk about a case of mistaken identity. In a sudden turn of events, the stingray struck Steve with its venomous barb. Justin recalled that it happened in the blink of an eye, hundreds of strikes in seconds. It was as if the stingray had turned into the Muhammad Ali of the ocean floor. Despite their immediate efforts to get him back to the boat and administer first aid, Steve tragically passed away. His last words were, "I'm dying," a heartbreaking moment that resonated around the world. Now, Steve had a rule: never stop filming, no matter what. So, the entire incident was caught on camera. However, in respect for Steve and his family, the footage has never been, and will never be, released to the public. And honestly, that's as it should be. Some moments are too personal, even for the world's most famous wildlife warrior. But let's not dwell on the sorrow. Instead, let's celebrate the incredible legacy he left behind. The news of Steve's passing was like a punch to the gut for millions. On September 9, 2006, a public memorial service was held at Australia Zoo. Thousands attended, and millions more watched from home, tissues in hand. Perhaps the most moving moment was when 8-year-old Bindi took the stage. With the poise of someone 3 times her age, she said, "My daddy was my hero. He was always there for me, and now it's our turn to help Daddy. If that doesn't tug at your heartstrings, you might need to check if you have any. Steve was laid to rest in a private ceremony, and the exact location remains a family secret. Terry has stated that this was to respect Steve's wishes and to keep a place for the family to remember him without the flash of cameras. And you know what? In a world where everything ends up online, it's a beautiful reminder that some things are meant to be personal. But the story doesn't end there. The Irwin family picked up Steve's torch and ran with it, possibly while being chased by a cassowary. Terry took over Australia Zoo, ensuring that Steve's mission lived on. Bindi blossomed into a conservationist, TV personality, and even won Dancing with the Stars, proving that grace runs in the family, even if it's usually while dodging a kangaroo kick. Robert, who was just 2 years old when Steve passed, grew up to be the spitting image of his dad, both in looks and passion. He's been on talk shows, starred in documentaries, and is an incredible photographer. Seriously, his wildlife photos are so good they'd make a lion purr. Inspired by the Irwin family? Consider subscribing to support our channel. Steve's impact was so profound that 2 new species were named after him: Irwin's snapping turtle and a tree snail with the scientific name Crikey Steve Irwini. Yes, Crikey is officially part of a scientific name. Somewhere out there, a Latin scholar is scratching their head. His foundations continue to do amazing work, supporting wildlife conservation around the globe. It's like he planted seeds of passion, and now we are seeing the forest grow. Despite the tragedy, the documentary Ocean's Deadliest was completed and aired, minus any footage from that fateful day. It served not only as an educational piece, but also as a tribute to Steve's unwavering dedication. And let's face it, Steve wouldn't have wanted us to stop learning about the wonders and dangers of the natural world. In the years since, the Irwin family has continued to educate and inspire millions. They've reminded us that every creature, no matter how big, small, scaly, or furry, plays a vital role in our world's tapestry. Steve once said, "If we can teach people about wildlife, they will be touched. Share my wildlife with me, because humans want to save things that they love, and love them we do." So as we wrap up this tribute to the legendary Steve Irwin, let's remember to carry forward his message of love, respect, and enthusiasm for all living things. Whether you're rescuing a spider from your bathroom or supporting conservation efforts, every little bit helps. Thank you for joining us on this journey. If Steve's story touched your heart, make sure to hit that like button, share this video with fellow wildlife warriors, and subscribe for more inspiring tales. And don't forget to ring that notification bell. Unlike a snake, it won't bite. Until next time, keep the spirit of adventure alive and remember, Crocs rule.